Já está? Já carregaste?
Não, wait. Quando ficar vermelho lá em cima, tá?
Ok. Hi, hello. I hope you're all fine and that you are hearing me well. And welcome to another webinar from the YT Tuesdays, where we usually talk about IT matters, IT legal issues, on the third Tuesday of each month. I'm just asking if someone could confirm that you are hearing me well by adding something here at the confirming it in the chat that you have. Okay, thanks. Okay, perfect. So let's move on. So today I will be talking about NFTs, so non-fungible tokens, and basically what they are, their legal regime, and in particular what could be their possible legal regime. So that's so. What are NFTs? So NFTs, basically, they are non-fungible tokens. And so these are tokens that are, in a sense, unique. So meaning that they cannot be replaced by something else. For example, and we are talking about tokens, so that's digital tokens. For instance, a Bitcoin or another crypto coin, they are usually fungible, meaning that you can trade one Bitcoin by another Bitcoin, and you'll have exactly the same thing. On the other hand, one-of-a-kind card or art piece, video, drawing may not be fungible. That does not mean that it cannot be reproducible, meaning that they are not fungible because that one and that specific one is a one of a kind which you cannot trade by another equal one. So the purpose of the NFTs is actually giving the purpose of uniqueness to something, usually a work of art. So they are usually seen, or traditionally they are types of forms of digital art, or kinds of digital art, or digital reproductions of art. It could include drawings, music, small videos. Those are the traditional ones, but they are not. It's not limited to this. So everything that you can reproduce digitally, you can create an NFT based on it. So, however, unlike traditional art, which usually is a physical sense, you can easily copy a digital file which has been negotiated as an NFT, and buying those tokens allow you, among other possibilities, to support your favorite NFT art, it's financially, or sell items when their value increases. It also may grant the acquirer of NFTs the user rights of it. For instance, it's possible to get NFTs from specific items on video games that you can use there, or a profile picture that you can use. So there are lots of possibilities that can be used in the form of an NFT. And the thing is that the NFTs market has experienced enormous growth in, I was going to say in recent years, but the truth is that it's probably even more recent than this. I would say this is something or a phenomenon which probably has less than 1 year as a phenomenon, less than 1 year old. So, but it has grown so much, or gained so much attention, that most brands and trademarks are also seeing some potential to this. So that's NBA has created its own NFTs, so picture of single moments on the games that you can acquire, or Marvel has also issued so their own NFTs. So that's their importance is growing and growing. So that's all types of digital art can be an NFT. And just again, trying to remember that an NFT, that does not mean that you will get something that is unique, in the sense that it cannot be reproducible, because you can have an NFT of a picture, you'll own that specific picture, which is marked with a timestamp, with a signature stamp, but you that does not impede its author from commercializing, distributing, reproducing other single aspects or other items, either in a digital or a physical form of that same work of art. Let me just... NFTs have some of the issues that have been raised about NFTs regarding some environmental issues, because NFTs usually use the blockchain technology, and the same blockchain technology that other cryptocurrencies use, and this distributed ledger technology is usually on the blockchain, is usually very energy consuming. So there are some issues about the excessive use of electricity, greenhouse gas emissions related with the NFTs. I don't think this is an issue that is solely of NFTs, but of NFTs as part of digital assets using the blockchain or similar technologies. First issue is what will be, or what we are trying to address mostly here is what is the legal regime of NFTs. And first, it crosses several legal regimes because it will be a copyright, right? So you'll get copyright issues, so intellectual property issues, because it's a right that someone has created a work of art traditionally, and has then put it or commercialized it in the form of NFT. But that's not only it that could be in question. And one of the issues that's been raised is to which extent this could be subject to the anti-money laundering directive, if this somehow could be considered as a virtual currency, and then subject to the obligations of virtual currency exchanges and custodian wallet providers. In my opinion, it's not a virtual currency exchange, and as such, it's not subject to these restrictions. In any case, it does not mean that it's not subject to money laundering principles, and that shouldn't be made some KYC in respect of big transactions that would involve these NFTs. There is also some new set of legislation that is still being launched. So on September 24, 2020, the European Commission launched a digital finance package, which includes proposal of legislation for the regulation of crypto assets and for the markets in crypto assets. And this is the markets in crypto assets regulation. So it's called the MiCA proposal. The proposal is currently going through the first reading phase of the legislative process, during which the European Parliament, Council of Ministers will either approve or amend the proposal. And it is expected this proposal to be implemented in the next 4 years, so it's still a long time frame. But at the moment, it is implemented and it is published and begins to the implementation period applies. It will apply directly to all EU member states, and it will not require the transposition through national laws to start being directly enforceable. This proposal aims particularly to regulate public offering of crypto assets, and NFTs are crypto assets in the sense that they are a digital representation, in particular a cryptographic representation of an asset. It's not a tradable asset, but it's a non-fungible asset, but still it is. It regards the admission of crypto assets to trading on trading platforms and trading platforms itself, the licensing of crypto asset service providers, and the implementation of market abuse rules for crypto asset businesses. In general, this proposal references 3 main categories of tokens: asset reference tokens, e-money tokens, and other crypto assets. I would say that probably the first 2 qualifications would not apply to the non-fungible tokens. So probably this would fall under the Title 2 of the MiCA proposal and qualify as other crypto assets. And under the proposal, please note that this is there is a question here from Afonso. I can then address this later, Afonso, if you don't mind. And at the end of this, I'll try to address some questions if you still have time. So, but let's say the issues of other crypto assets, so let's say crypto assets that are not asset reference tokens or e-money tokens, they probably will not be subject to any specific licensing obligations, but they will be probably required to be a legal entity, which could be established outside the EU, but probably that will require some kind, so any form of representation within the EU in order to conduct business in the EU. While other crypto assets would be subject to regulations requiring admission to trading on a trading platform and authorization of related service providers, it's possible that this not applies to these other crypto assets, because the MiCA proposal appears to exempt issuers of crypto assets that are unique and not fungible with other crypto assets, which basically is the definition of non-fungible tokens, at least from the requirements of publishing white paper for public offerings. And apparently this is the only specific reference to non-fungible tokens or to crypto assets that are unique and not fungible. So the good news appears that as these are unique, they are not seen as a commodity or a security-like issue or a financial item, and thus they will not be subject to the regulations regarding public offerings, in some type of information disclosures and so on. So that's the good news. So they will be excluded from these obligations. Okay. In the recitals, the MiCA proposal states that the legislation adopting in field of crypto assets should also contribute to the objective of combating money laundering, and financial of terrorism, and should adopt the definition of virtual assets set out in the recommendations of the Financial Action Task Force. So, in its most recent draft guidance issued on March 2021, FATF, so the Financial Action Task Force, replaced the previous reference to assets that are fungible with assets that are convertible and interchangeable. So this raises the possibility that NFTs could be included in this definition, to the extent that they could be exchanged or converted into other assets. Otherwise, which I would say would be the majority of the situations, they would not fall under these money laundering regulations. And so this is just a brief overview on this. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to. So Afonso is as a question. I would say to do this for now. First, answering the question from Afonso, which is under the Portuguese Sandbox legal arrangements, are you aware of any initiative to issue NFTs via blockchain? I would say NFTs, they are usually issued via blockchain or other distributed ledgers or similar technologies. So that's the thing is, I don't think that there is any specific regulation from Portuguese law, specific Portuguese law perspective, that is being issued in the next years. I would say that probably Portugal will not regulate this until there is a regulation from the European Union. The question in Enrique Ratnik asks, why do you think NFTs are not virtual currencies? So the aspect of the virtual currency is that it is a means of payment, and if it is a means of payment, it is by definition fungible. The definition of these tokens, it's exactly that they are not fungible, so they are not replaceable, in the sense that they are tradable, or each of them has a fixed value, which would allow them to buy other things. It's the same thing. So if you have a picture or a drawing from a famous artist, you can sell this, get currency, virtual or other, or fiat, and buy things with it. You can also exchange it for any other item if you don't want to trade it, but that does not make it a currency. You can exchange it for currency, but the NFTs on themselves, they are not virtual currencies. So they are not fungible. They don't have an established value, in the sense that each of them has the same value and can be traded by something of equal value, so that they will not fall under this virtual currency. That does not mean that they do not use the same technology, blockchain or other, that is used on the virtual currencies. Not sure if someone else has any other question. Well, if there are no other questions, well, I thank you for attending this webinar. I hope that this has been helpful to you, and my contacts, they are here, and if you want to do any follow-up questions afterwards, please feel free to send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer it. Okay. Meanwhile, hope to see you again in a next session. Thanks. Bye.